I probably indulged in some way, shape, or form with a sweet treat almost every day.
One question for you that's quite important. Are you done consuming the sweet treats? Well, this week, there's no weight to report, and it's not because you've gained 10 pounds. Hopefully.
I hope so too.
I can't speak on that. Okay. But there's a reason why we don't have a weight this week. And it's because we just had Thanksgiving. And, under normal conditions, even someone who's the most disciplined dieter on Thanksgiving, they open up the belt a little bit, a couple notches on that day, because it's a day of family, it's a day of celebration, it's a day of some delicious food. So we wouldn't expect anyone to be strict on that day, regardless of who they are. And I certainly wouldn't put you in the category of a strict dieter. So I would say that whatever concessions the strict dieter would make, we maybe amplify those a bit when it comes to you. But there's something that happened the day right around Thanksgiving, which is, I think you were celebrating your birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true.
Happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too.
You're not 50 yet, so you still got one more year to go before you're officially on top of the hill.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving and birthday in the same week, as far as I'm concerned, even for the person who's the most disciplined, that week is not a week where you want to step on the scale. You just don't want to know what that scale says. But we've decided to just delay weigh-ins until next week, skip that week. So that way the following week can be a recovery week from whatever it is that happened during the Thanksgiving birthday celebration. Now, I have no idea what occurred during that week. I have my suspicions, but this episode is to discuss exactly that. I know that when you were going into it, there were certain foods that you normally would have for Thanksgiving that you'd said, I might skip that. Like, I'm not having the desire for this. You didn't say you wouldn't have desire for any of it, but you didn't have a desire for certain things. And I'm just wondering, now that it's all said and done, now that it's in the rearview mirror, give me a description of what it was like this Thanksgiving, this birthday versus last year's Thanksgiving, last year's birthday, the year before that, etc. Just the standard, what you would expect from Jeff as he celebrates Thanksgiving and birthday versus what we had this week.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, in the past life, there was no hold barred, just reckless abandon. I don't know what that would quantify to, but as far as weight gain or net, effect, but there was nothing. It was just reckless abandon. There was nothing ever put into discipline or holding anything back. It was just consume whatever you want whenever you want, and probably even more gluttony than the traditional time of throughout the rest of the year when the holidays start coming around. Thanksgiving, my birthday this year happened to be the day after Thanksgiving, so this would start the kickoff of a gluttonous period of extremely gluttonous period of time. So so I will say that this has been a challenging week when it comes to discipline. This would not be the most disciplined week of my last couple months. This has been far from it. So, but at the same time, I've been more thoughtful than I would have been when I compare it to, any time in recent history during this period of the year. So, I am grateful that this is not a weigh-in week, because because I think that could probably be counterproductive to my psyche. But at the same, I did enjoy myself, but I feel like I did judiciously. I was moderate in my quantity of what I consume. I feel like in comparison to things that I've done in the past, I was much more thoughtful and deliberate. And so I didn't I didn't stop myself from enjoying things I wanted to enjoy. I just um, I just I was judicious. I was just like the best word I can come up with. I didn't say no to things I wanted. If it was something that was marginal, I didn't need it. I didn't just do for the sake of doing. I can say no easier to things that I don't need. I'm more calculated, and is this really worth it? And this period of time, there's all kinds of things wrapped up into this period of time. It's celebration time, but it's also there's some stress involved in this time of year. So that's also a big trigger, as you pointed out. You know this about me. So all those things wrapped up into it, that that definitely pushes me and challenges me in ways that are unique, than it would be during like a regular work week. I feel like the structure of the work week actually works to my advantage. When I'm in a regular 5-day work week, I actually thrive, staying focused. And it's got me on a schedule where I have more discipline built in. And when there's more freedom in my schedule, then I feel like it's a little bit more challenging. So this has been a week of a whole lot more freedom time wise, traveling, not having not having a trip to the grocery store, stocking up the refrigerator at home and at work with the things I need to do. It's just been more challenging is the best way to put it. But I've indulged in treats. Like Thanksgiving dinner comes to mind. Like I did hold off on the mac and cheese. I didn't have mac and cheese this year. I didn't have mashed potatoes and gravy. The carb items, I loaded up on the turkey and the ham. You know, so I had green beans. Um, I had broccoli salad. Those types of things. I loaded up the plate with all the stuff that really was not going to be counterproductive. I stayed away from. Lord have mercy, I stayed away from the butter rolls, man. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I did it. I know. I know.
I don't believe you.
I don't know how I did it, man. I know. I had the thought in my mind that I knew dessert was on the way, and that helped me. That helped me to just know, like, okay, what's the evil I want to give in on, and um, I was at the in-laws, and they had made special effort to make a dessert, so I wanted to make sure that that kind of made it an easy tiebreaker. So yeah, so I just stuff like that. I indulged in the desserts a little bit more. You know, pecan pie, things that you don't get during pumpkin pie, things that you don't get during the rest of the year. It's a special type of thing, right? So um, I won't have those things probably again until next Thanksgiving. So um, yeah, I mean, I probably indulged in some way, shape, or form with a sweet treat almost every day. And that's what scares me. But my quantities were, I feel like, pretty reasonable. But I just know that it was not what it has been for the last 10 weeks or whatever it's been. So that's what got me a little bit concerned. I don't feel like it's been counterproductive, but I know it's probably not helping me to be, uh, progressing towards my goals. So, yeah, I'm glad that this is a week off as far as weighing in, and I'll be crossing my fingers the next time I do weigh.
One question for you that's quite important. Are you done consuming the sweet treats, or is this? Was there a cutoff period as to when this came to an end, or is it going to come to an end, or where are we at?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, back to work, back in the routine. I did not order, uh, I did not order a whole lot as far as, I got my routine going where I order groceries, pick them up on the weekend, and then stock the fridge again at home and then at work. And so that routine was interrupted still this week a little bit, but I had a few things in each refrigerator, so I'm making do for the remainder of this week. So it's a little bit helter skelter, but for the most part, this week will be disciplined. It's not going to be as exciting for me, but I'll get through, and I'm able to be disciplined for this period of time. I feel like my head's right, knowing that I had my fun. So it's like, hey, dude, it's time to get back on it, and you had your fun, so let's get back and make sure you're pleased with the number you see the next time, or at least not upset with the number you see next time, because I know from times past how upsetting that can be if it's not something that if it's damaging, it's damaging. It's very damaging. So I need to be encouraged. I need to see progress, or at least minimize damage. And so um, when I look in the mirror, I don't feel like damage has been done. That's a big thing. When I'm moving around, I don't feel like damage has been done. So that's encouraging. But those are things that fuel me, that motivate me. I definitely can't afford to make to go backwards in those areas. So, but the scale is another place that doesn't lie, and I need to make sure that I'm making the progress I want to.
It's interesting to note that you were performing calculations without performing calculations. And it's the same exact method that I use. So you go into Thanksgiving knowing that I've got 10 carb foods to choose from, and I prioritize, determined I could eat it all. I certainly could take some enjoyment in everything that's there, but what's at the top of the list? What's my top priority? What's the thing I'm looking forward to the most? And then what's second and what's third, and et cetera. And then make the choice, because you're not counting calories and carbs on Thanksgiving, but you kind of are in an indirect way. It was what you're doing is you're looking at all those carbs that you could easily consume that would probably total 500 grams at the end of the meal. And you're thinking, I there's some of these carbs that are good. I mean, if I would eat it, I mean, I have no problem consuming it. I mean, but I do have a goal here that I'm trying to achieve that is making me happy. And it's helping to improve my confidence. It's making me healthier and it's making me feel better. So when I factor that into the equation, I'm looking at all these foods and it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to have fun, but I can prioritize what my fun is going to be. I can pick which ones I'm going to consume and which ones I'm not going to consume. And the way you started off this episode, it sounded like the week could have been an abysmal failure and you were trying to dance around it. But then as you got specific and said what you had on Thanksgiving, it went in a completely different direction, because you were making choices, deliberate choices. I'm not having this. I'm not having that. When you could have had it all. So there's a lot you didn't have. And that ended up reducing the amount of carbohydrates substantially in that meal. And then you had the pie and the dessert, whatever it was that you were looking forward to, which you would have had anyway. So it would have been, it's not like you would have, if you would have eaten those other, the ones you skipped, that you wouldn't have had dessert. No, you would have had that and dessert and then some.
Better believe.
So,
yeah.
Right. So that's the point. You ended up deciding, I'm going to cut these out. I'm not going to have these because they're, to me, like, yeah, they're good, but I can look forward to the main event. I can look forward to the top 1, 2, 3 items, whatever that is, and this other 7 I can skip. And I can feel great about that because I'm looking forward to consuming those, and those are my favorite. And that's what you did. And that was an incredible judgment call on your part.
I don't hear that from you very often.
Well, you did this on your. We didn't come up with a game plan that this is you're going to go at the table and this is what you have to do, because there's no having to do with Jeff. Let me just make sure everybody understands. You don't tell Jeff what to do, because if you tell Jeff what to do, he's going to do the opposite. So we don't want that to happen. Yeah. So I just leave it. I want it to be Jeff's idea. I want him to decide, this is the direction that works best for me. And the scale is going to determine at the end of the week whether that decision was a good or bad one. And if we have to change directions, we will. But that is you making a choice that's in your best interest, as you sat down and determined, here, I have a choice to make. I could do a lot of damage in this one meal. I mean, I have the potential to do that. I have the capability of doing that, but I'm going to do something different. I'm going to have a good time. It's going to be enjoyable, but I'm going to prioritize, and I'm going to have certain foods that I am going to eat. And then there are other ones at the table that I would have eaten before in prior years, no problem, but I'm just going to skip it. And that saves a ton of carbs. At the end of the meal, you probably ate in total half of the carbs that you normally would have eaten on Thanksgiving. And that's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. I can't say that the majority of people who are on a diet are going into Thanksgiving cutting down their carb content. They're really not thinking about that, because it's a very difficult thing to do when you're an emotional eater, especially. It's something that you look forward to. It's on this day, I'm not going to think about it. It's not going to matter to me. But you thought about it. You did make active choices. And that shows that this is becoming part of your lifestyle. It's not just a fad. You're actually deciding to implement this into your life. And on a day like Thanksgiving, which is the one day out of the year where people eat the most amount of food that they can possibly eat, and they don't apologize for it, okay? And so that's what the general population does. So, and you've decided to do something different. You still had fun, you still enjoyed it, you still had your dessert, you still had some carbs, but there's a lot of carbs you didn't have. And that's what making health and weight loss a lifestyle is all about. It's about making those kind of decisions where you don't rob yourself of having a good time. You still enjoyed yourself. You were having desserts on other days. Like you were consuming your sweets, as you said. So you were having a good time, but you ended up consuming a significantly smaller portion of carbohydrates than you have in any other year, as a result of being intentional, as a result of deciding this is what I'm going to do, going into it, and not placing your logical brain next to you and deciding we're not going to turn that part of our brain on for the next 24 hours. We're just going to, whatever emotion hits me, I'm going to just take advantage of it. And I'm going to polish off everything I can see. You didn't do that. So that's the key is keeping the goal in the forefront of your mind, and then not getting into a frame of mind where I have to eliminate everything, but rather make judicious choices where I can have a good time. I can enjoy myself. I can actually look forward to these particular foods, but then these other ones that are always served that I would normally eat, I'm not going to consume those. I'm going to just skip those, and I'm going to feel good about it, because the ones that I've picked, I'm going to enjoy, and it's going to be a wonderful experience nonetheless. And so I commend you for that. I think that was an incredible decision that you made, and you have the right frame of mind to be able to get to the finish line as a result of this. Because what's more difficult, the two most difficult scenarios I can come up with when someone's trying to lose weight in terms of maintaining consistency is holidays, special occasions, holidays, Thanksgiving being pretty much near the top of the list, if not number one, and then stress. So those are they're really the two obstacles and pitfalls. It's getting together with people who are eating a bunch of food and joining in with them. That's the one temptation. The other temptation, I get stressed out. I know that the food makes me feel better. So I'm just going to go for whatever it is that I enjoy and forget about my stress. And then you just immerse yourself in that. And one donut leads to two, leads to three, leads to 10. And those are the two pitfalls. And you address this one I think in just the perfect way. So I congratulate you on that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, you put it very well. I think those two, I think I'm more confident than ever that I've nailed this holiday thing. I think that this is really, I thought about after we talked last time about what actually uttered out of my mouth. I I I can't believe that I actually said like I don't want to eat like I used to or something like that. I mean, like yeah. I don't even believe that I meant it, but I did, and it like just came out. Like I really am like changing my whole mental approach and I guess maybe even physiological approach, dude. Like I really am mentally better when it comes to all of this already after just what, like 2 months, 2.5 months.
Yeah,
and
2 months.
And like
2 months now.
20 pounds. I mean, it's like I'm like 10, 15% of the way to my goal, my ultimate goal. But these short-term goals that I've made have gotten me so much closer to that goal than what it looks like on paper, because the mental part is like almost conquered. The one thing I will say is just the stress eating is the ultimate. That's the one that can still get me, man. Like I know that's my kryptonite. Like that's the one thing that I have to find way to strategically defeat stress before it starts, because there are certain things that are triggers for me for stress, and if they get me, like I will probably not defeat them. You know what I mean? Like they can get me and they can set me off. I am just conscious of that still, and so I'll probably need to lean in on you for help with that. When those things happen, I noticed that happens sometimes. And so the other thing is, I guess, just making sure that those things, when they do inevitably happen, that they don't affect me for prolonged periods of time. I just got to make sure they don't, like if I have a rough day or two, it can't be a rough week or rough 2 week. I got to get back on it quick. I got to, stay locked in. But like this lifestyle really is like, it's, when people say like a lifestyle change, I mean, it sounds scary. It really sounds daunting, but it's really not. Like, it's really not. It's really good. Like, it's a good thing. It's like, I'm still a normal dude, like, that likes junk food. But like, at the same time, I'm not addicted to McDonald's right now. You know what I'm saying? I was, like, I needed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost needed to stop off at a drive-through. I almost needed that. And now, like, it's like I'll stop there because I need my protein on that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll stop at the Arby's and get a roast beef sandwich and barely eat any bread. Um like I don't get the junk that goes along with it. I don't get the fries, I don't get the desserts, I don't get the sugary sodas, like all the things that were just like mindless on a day after work, 5 days in a row, every day, piling up, or 3 days a week for a month straight, every month, just piling up. It's so not necessary. And it's like, not only every day am I not doing that, but I'm actually like working against that of building of fat, and I'm cutting out the carbs in addition to it, and just being strategic with when I enjoy myself, and rationing out the times where I have my fun, saving that for the weekends or, special occasions, meetings with friends or whatever. And I'm still able to lose weight and still able to accomplish goals. And it's all just under control. And it's like, it's actually probably helping me cope with stress in a lot of ways better too. So, I feel like everything that I can control right now, uh, when it comes to stress, when it comes to mental frame of mind, just, the world out there is going to do what it's going to do. But I feel like all this stuff is wrapped up together. And yeah, I'm just really glad that you got me locked in, man. That I'm locked in, and like I don't feel like it's ever going to be back to what it used to be. I feel like this is it. Like it's just not even a hard thing. It's like almost a game. It's almost a game. I'll have fun when I have fun. I'll try to get away with stuff, because I'm a sneaky guy who wants to just get away with as much as I can. But it's the game to see. Okay, I play during the weekend, and then let's see how much I can still work off during the week by being super disciplined Monday through Thursday, and see what I can get down to by Friday. That type of thing. It's just I want people to do what I'm doing, man. I really do. Like if I can do it, anybody can do this, and it doesn't have to. Don't get freaked out by lifestyle change. It sounds like you're changing your whole life, like it's this hard thing to do. But like if you just try it for like a couple weeks, it won't be something that's hard. It starts one thing at a time, and you'll start to feel some success, and you'll be like almost hooked on it. It's like not even. It's not even hard. I was not even. I mean, I haven't. I don't want to jinx myself, but I haven't really struggled. I mean, even through the holiday here, like this wasn't even hard. I had fun, and I'm not going to say I lost weight over this time. I'm pretty sure I didn't during this holiday period, but like whatever it was that may or may not have happened, if there was damage done, it's not irreparable. I'm not going to lose my mind over it. When I look in the mirror, I know nothing's catastrophic here, and like I'm right back on it, like locked in during the work week here. Um, yeah, like it's anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. Don't like just. I hope I can help other people while I'm doing this too. I really do.
Rationing out when you have fun. Um, quote of the year. Quote of the year. Can I give you a standing ovation for that?
Wow,
And
wow.
I no, I'm not. I'm not going to go that far, but I do want to give you all the credit in the world because that concept of rationing out when you have fun is the key to permanent weight loss. Is it not?
You know better than I do, dude. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert.
Think about there's two ways. Think about there's two ways. There's two ways to go. One, you can eliminate all the fun 100%.
That does not work.
How successful is that? Okay, all right.
No.
So we know that's not going to work. We can have fun 100% of the time.
That's not going to work either.
How much fat's that going to burn?
No.
Okay. Yeah, more appealing. That's definitely more appealing than the first option.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna burn any fat. Okay, no. So rationing out when you have fun. That's that nasty, stinking word that nobody likes to say, moderation.
Yeah.
It's about knowing that I don't have to have fun 24/7 with my food. I can actually look forward to moments.
Yeah.
For example, after you weigh in, that day's looser day for you usually. You look forward to the weekend. You loosen things up. You don't go insane, but you do have fun. You have more fun than you do on other days.
Yep.
But you've rationed out that period of time in the week as the time when it makes most sense for you to loosen things up because you're not at work. It's not a structured environment. And you're with your family and you just want to have the ability to enjoy yourself more when it comes to your food choices. So those days are looser. And then other days are more, you're going to have a more strict diet. The holidays, you're going to be even looser. But ultimately, what you're doing is you're deciding throughout the year that there's certain periods of time that work for me, for your schedule, and for who you are, for your personality, and for your priorities that work best for me, where I can just loosen up on the diet this time, but knowing what my goal is. My goal is I can't loosen up on it every day, 7 days a week. I got to go back to the goal. What's the goal? The goal is to burn fat, to lose 1 or 2 pounds a week. So I'm right back on other days where I know that I'm at work and I know I can be structured. Those are going to be my more strict days. It's a fantastic game plan because you're picking the days that work best for you to be either loose or strict and vacillating back and forth between the two. And it doesn't even feel like you're doing anything insurmountable. That's the reason why you're saying it's not even hard.
Yeah.
It's because you're not doing anything that's robbing you of your life. And if you had to just take the diet that you were consuming before and completely abandon it, throw it in the trash and say, that's the end. Okay. We're gonna just be Spartan life here. We're just gonna go straight forward and it's just gonna be chicken and vegetables every meal for the next 6 months. I mean, you wouldn't have shown up for week 2, because and neither would I. I wouldn't have had the guts to show up because I knew you wouldn't be here. There's no possible way I couldn't recommend that in good conscience to anyone who is an emotional eater, especially, but anyone really to do that. I can do it. Like for me, I can do more bland diets, but I still have my cheat meals every Sunday night. I open things up for a meal. Holidays, Thanksgiving, I had my Thanksgiving meal. I had my and on birthdays, special occasions, vacations, etc. So yes, I have my times. That's my moderated cheating. That's my where I pick and choose when I'm going to have fun. I'm not having fun every day. Otherwise, you don't end up looking like this, right? But and if you do, then you're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing. So you have to, you have to pick what those days are going to be, and you have to, create a schedule that's best for you. Where I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy myself and have fun and throw things to the side for this day, for this meal, and then I'm going right back to it. And going back and forth like that makes it feel like it's not a redundant process.
Yeah.
You can always look forward to something.
Yep.
You can always look forward to Friday. You can always look forward to the day where it's looser. You can always look forward to the weekend. You can always look forward to Christmas. You can always look forward to Thanksgiving, birthdays, etc. Those are the days where you can have fun with other people. You can enjoy yourself. And full well, I mean, and this goes without saying that if for some reason you just through the normal course of the week, you make a mistake and you have more carbs than you wanted to for a meal, that's considered, a fun moment that the next meal doesn't have to mimic. You
Right.
go right back to the way that you were supposed to be. You don't throw things to the side and decide that, oh, I cheated, like I had more carbs than I intended, so the heck with it. I'm just going to do that for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. No, you decide, okay, this was a moment in time. I had my fun. Okay, I'm right back to it. And the next meal, you do what you know you need to do. And that's how you do it. It's meal by meal by meal, day by day by day. And you're structuring it in such a way where you are having a great time when appropriate, and you're being disciplined when appropriate. And that's the reason why it's working for you. It's a quote diet, the way that the term diet is used. We're on a specific plan that has a specific purpose that's going to burn this amount of weight every single week. And it has to be done this way or else that's a recipe for disaster. That's how people get themselves into trouble. Sure, you can lose the weight. Anyone, you could follow the diet. If you can discipline yourself enough to follow something like that, yeah, you'll burn the fat off. But what's going to happen when you have to go back to reality once you get to your goal? You're not going to have any skills to be able to maintain it because you're not going to keep eating that way.
Yep.
That's anybody who does that, they do it for a moment, for a season, for a period of time, and then they throw it to the side. And then what? Usually they go back to what they were doing before they started that diet, gain all the weight back and then some, and then they're back wondering what to do next. That's not happening for you. It's not going to happen for you because you're learning the way to maintain the weight as you go down. You're actually learning the skill that you need to stay lean as you're losing weight. you don't have to change this game plan once you finally achieve your goal, because you're already building the skill to lose the weight in an enjoyable way. So why not just keep doing that to maintain? You just eat more. You can just eat more. You don't have to eat. You don't have to be as strict with the quantity, because if you're not trying to lose more weight, eventually you get to a maintenance phase. You can eat more, and but you're doing the same technique. It's nothing changes with that. You're still moderating when you're going to have a diet that's looser or stricter, and by going back and forth that way, you're able not only to lose weight but then maintain it. And if you're enjoying if you're having a good enough time losing it, and you're saying that this is not really hard and it's something you could do, that just shows that how realistic it is to maintain it when you can eat a little bit more food and using that same method. And pretty much at that point in time, you're just using the exact same method that you're using now, just with more latitude when it comes to what it is that you're consuming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I'm ever too far away from having some freedom. So the freedom to do something enjoyable with my diet, with having, something that I would just normally do, and but at the same time, like my urges even to go, like my sinful pleasures would be like stopping at a convenience store that I still give into would be stopping at a convenience store and grabbing a candy bar, like um, but like the things that were regular rituals would be grabbing meals on the regular at fast food places. That is all the way gone. It's all the way gone. I have no need for that. And like, yeah, I mean, if I could take all the fast food away that I've consumed over the years after work, I mean, I skipped lunch pretty much most of my adult life. And now, like, so that wasn't even difficult really to like just force lunch now on myself. But then, like I'm having my dinners usually in earlier hours, finishing that up, having a no carb dessert for myself at night so that I'm satisfied mentally with that. And it's light. So, yeah, I mean, like it's taken me a little while and I'm still probably going to find ways to refine all this. But like once you get your groove, man, I'm just telling you, like it really is. Like I feel like I can do this like forever. And that's why even if the 1 pound loss, like this is gonna work. Like if it's a year, the year. But I'm gonna get where I need to be. And so by that 50th birthday, I'm in the best shape I've been in forever. So yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I mean, like knowing how I got through Thanksgiving, that's pretty telling. Even if I added a pound or two or whatever it is that comes out, it's pretty telling to me that that something's different in a really good way from years past. And you've helped me do at my own wishes. You've helped me do some wild things over the years. Many years back, I think I remember a time where you got me to lose like 20 pounds, 20 days, because I was a nut job, and you were willing to feed my urge to be a nut job. And so and then immediately after that, that I can't keep that up, that pace and that frame of mind much past 20 days. So this is the longest time where I've been able to mentally focus on weight loss at once, and I'm really not feeling like it's going anywhere, So I'm very encouraged.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier structure, and that's so important to anybody who's trying to overcome any habit, any addiction, anything that they're trying to overcome. You've got the fact that on the days when you go to work, things are already planned out. You know what it is that's happening. You know what the schedule's like. You become familiar with it. You know, you bring your meals with you. Things are predictable, and that's what makes it a lot easier to be able to stay in a routine, which is what you're following during that time. And then when you get out of the routine and the structure is gone, that's when there's a temptation to become more self-destructive, because then the basic instincts kick in. You have the free time. You don't have any obligations. At that point in time, whether it's boredom, whether it's just the fact that you want to enjoy yourself during this time, so you're looking for something to do that's fun, and eating is fun, and it just creates a temptation that can push you back in that direction when you don't have that structure there. So anybody who's trying to overcome any sort of addiction should get structure in their life, because that's very helpful. Just getting up at a certain hour, going to bed at a certain hour, having things to do during the day, because a lot of times where people don't have obligations during the day, that's when you can become very, very self-destructive in your time, because that if you don't have anything to do and you get bored, you're going to start thinking of things to do that are fun, that are distracting, that take away from not only the boredom but just the mundane nature of life during that time. You want to grab something that's going to release those chemicals in your brain, make you feel good, and that's going to be, whether it's food or whether it's drugs or whether it's anything that's addictive. That's usually where people go down that path. So you got to have things in your life, that your goals that you're looking to achieve, and certain structure during your day that's consistent, so that way you know what it is that's happening. You're committed to it. You're moving down that path, and it makes it a lot easier at that point, once that becomes a new habit, to be able to stay consistent with whatever it is that you're doing. So that's why you end up, when you go to work, it feels a lot easier, because there are certain things that you have to do. They're on the list. The agenda is pretty consistent. I go out there, I know what's planned. I have my food because I brought my food with me, since I already knew I was going to be at work today, and I knew how things were going to go or supposed to go. Take that with me. And so all that consistency, that's really why that consistent schedule makes it a lot easier to stay more disciplined during those moments. And then when you're not at work and things become looser, becomes a lot easier. Then how do I fill that time? Like that,
Yeah.
there's a gap there. Well, how do I fill it? Well, I can fill it with something I like to do, which is to eat. And it's a lot easier at that point in time then to open up the floodgates and start grabbing food out of the fridge randomly, because there's no structure. You haven't made food for yourself or brought it with you. You got everything there. Everything's available. And if it's not, you could just order it quite easily on your phone and have it delivered. Or it's just very easy at that point in time to gravitate towards that. So that structure, yes, the fact that you identified that, and then this is once again something going in to this whole process. You weren't thinking that I might go to work, things are going to be great, and when I'm at home, they're not going to be as easy. I mean, you really didn't know how things were going to, what the fallout of all this was going to be, until you started following the plan. Now you're able to identify all these intricacies, which are all true, because anybody who tries to embark in a weight loss plan or any other strategy to defeat anything that they're trying to change in their life, any habit, any bad habit, any sort of addictive behavior, they're gonna see that everything that you're describing is consistent with what they're experiencing as well. Having good structure and pre-planning, and just having things available, and having a game plan going into the day, it's gonna make things a lot easier to maintain. And then when you don't have a plan and when the day is loose, it's a lot easier to be off your sleep schedule and off the eating schedule, and then you can just lose track of everything. Lose track of time, lose track of what it is that you've eaten and what it is that you're gonna eat. And it's just that environment's so conducive towards being derailed from what it is that you want to achieve. But even on those days, and you have a couple of days off every week, you're working the 5-day schedule and have the weekends off. Even on those days, you're still cognizant of the fact that this is your goal. So you're not taking that weekend to go, as you say, no holds barred, to just grab everything in sight. So that's the method that you're employing to make sure that, even though it's a looser diet period for me, I'm still going to make sure that I remember I don't want to do too much damage this weekend. So you make judicious decisions of what you're going to have and when you're going to have it, whether you're going to have carbs this meal or how many, whether I'm going to eat the bun with that burger, that type of thing. You're always deciding meal by meal, like, does it make sense to do this or not? And I think those new decisions that you're making are becoming habits to the point where you're just automatically, without putting forth any effort, you're able to make those decisions with each and every meal, with each and every option that's presented to you throughout the week and on the weekend. And that's just a tremendous testimony to what can happen when you start following a plan like this consistently, because it's only been 2.5 months in, and here you are making all these decisions and during a very difficult time of the year for people to stay on a diet, and you're successfully making those decisions. That I think it's incredible to hear you say what you're saying, and essentially be able to identify everything that you're going through in this journey and why it's working so well for you. You're identifying it all piece by piece, and that shows how much thought you're putting into it. As you're going throughout each week, you're collecting information, and now you're able to present it to us in an understandable way, so that way we can see some insight into what you're feeling and what you're experiencing as you're on this journey. And it's not only very educational; it just shows how much you're learning through doing, which is exactly what's happening now. You're applying yourself to the process, and through that, you're becoming better and better and better as the weeks go on.
This process, talking to you through it weekly, is helping me reflect and learn throughout the process more. It's not just the aimless, just hopefully carrying through the next week. I'm thinking about it more because we're talking, and while we're talking through things, this is very helpful. And and I'm processing a whole lot more than I would if I was all on my own. So it's not even just the emotional support of having a brother beside me with encouragement, but it's bouncing off ideas and knowledge, and even you just asking me questions, and you could challenge my thinking about things. It helps me so much, because I wouldn't sit here and think about this like I do if I was all left to myself. So I appreciate that. I'm me, I'm like stubborn and hard headed. So like I would be the type that learns the hard way. I probably am anyway right now. Just I just run into a brick wall a couple times, and I figure out what's not working. I'm hoping to save people from some of that, like anybody who's listening, if they do. Like, hopefully they can learn some things, like they don't have to go through everything that I go through to figure things out. But like, I know everybody's situation is different too. Um, but like, I have figured some of these things out that I think will help people. And, um, you know, whatever it is, just, like if your schedule's different, if you have a different work schedule, it's just find what works for you, just is my best advice. Just whatever your schedule it is, find what schedule is going to work for you, find what foods are going to work for you, plan ahead what foods you need to have where and when, you know, and just do things that you like, or at least are good with. I eat a lot of celery. I don't love celery, but it doesn't hurt me at all, and I'll eat celery with like chicken salad, at lunch quite often. So I was eating peanut butter to start with a whole lot, and I think I got too heavy on the peanut butter. So I wanted to reduce the carbs there, and I started mixing the chicken salad, and it worked better. I might do peanut butter once in a while, but it's more often now it's chicken salad. So like little tweaks here and there, but I do think the reflection part, thinking it through, going through the week before and thinking how you can do something, little improvement every week, something different to maybe challenge yourself to make it better the next week, is good. And like I said, I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't be I wouldn't have probably the mental stamina to just do this by myself, man, or the time. I wouldn't feel like if I didn't block this time out with you, I wouldn't create this time for myself. So people need support, man. They really do in order to take something on like this. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that being able to talk about your week every week and knowing that you're going to have insight to share, I'm going to be able to reflect on that with you, and you're going to be able to leave with some insight that you were able to share with us, and I was able to share with you, and going into a new week, trying to further the progress for the next weigh-in. It's just so motivational, I think, to you to know that not only am I here to help, not only am I here to support, not only am I here to celebrate, but we're also able to reflect on everything that you're doing right. This is really probably uh, unique in the aspect that you're not coming on here every week and having me chastise you and rip you apart about how badly you've done and what you need to do differently. It's actually the complete opposite of that. You're coming here and sharing what it is that you're doing, and because the weight is going down on a consistent basis, we're able to reflect on what it is you're doing right, and you've been doing so much that's right. And I can't say that you've been doing anything wrong, because if you look at the scale, it's been going down every single week. Possibly an asterisk on that, but we're not going to ever know. We're never going to know what happened after Thanksgiving. We'll just assume whatever the weight is next week, we'll just assume that we'll cut that in half and say, hopefully, we'll cut that in half if it's negative, if we've lost weight. If it's a positive, rather, and it's down, we'll just cut in half and say, you lost this much last week, this much this week. We'll just go with that. But point being, you're doing everything right as far as making this effective, realistic, and enjoyable. And you're doing that, I'd say, all on your own, because we're only here for an hour, and you've got yourself to contend with for the rest of the week. So, yeah, this is extremely helpful. There's no doubt about it. I don't think you could do this without this. I think just meeting, having us here, being able to talk about this, celebrating together, that's invaluable. That's gonna propel you to the finish line and beyond. But in addition to that, you also have all that time spent by yourself, where you have to make all these decisions on your own, and you are really applying yourself to this goal. You're deciding that this is something that I really want. I'm going to achieve this. I want this to continue. I want to make it work for me. And because you've made it a mission for yourself, it's been incredibly successful. And I think having your dedication, and I don't want you ever to look to try and underestimate how important that is, and just look at, well, we meet here every week and that's going to be the catalyst behind all this. That's just a blip on the radar. You've got hours and days to yourself where you could decide to do anything that you want. Every meal is a decision. Every minute's a decision. Every second's a decision. And you have decided to make better choices than you ever have. And you've decided to consistently make enough good choices that the weight has gone down on an average of 1.9 pounds every single week, nearly 2 pounds a week. That's incredible. And that's something that, like you said, you have not done that before. You've done extreme dieting. You've tried to get rid of weight quickly. All of it's short-lived, because it wasn't a lifestyle change, because it was nothing that was sustainable. So yeah, there's a little bit of a vanity in trying to burn 20 pounds in 20 days. And it's exciting to try and get to that goal, but that's 20 days. Once the 20 days are over, it probably will take you less than 20 days to gain it back. And that's the reality of anything that's extreme. Is there going to be an extreme on the other end? Usually for the vast majority of people, you've got the extreme weight loss followed by the extreme weight regain. But when you do it gradually, the way that you're doing it, and you're doing realistically and trying to make it part of your life, and a realistic part of your life that you can enjoy, you can actually each and every day you can look at the day not as a daunting task, but as another day where you can realistically make choices that are going to benefit you, but still have fun in the process, and consistently do this. It becomes part of your life, and it's something that you start looking forward to. You start looking forward to the weigh-ins. You start looking forward to the whole process for the next week, for the next weigh-in, and and because it's gradual and it's not extreme, you're still having a good time doing it. And that's an important consideration in being able to continue to do this well beyond the 100-pound weight loss. And that's our goal. Our goal is, you've never done this before. You've, of course, at 354 pounds, you've never permanently lost weight. Okay. So I think that's a foregone conclusion. The fact that we're here is because you were at your heaviest that you've ever been at 354. So, and I remember in 2000, when you were 288 pounds, and you said, I will never weigh this weight again. And well, I mean, you weren't 288 when we started this, you were 354. So that's the point. The point being, you've been in situations, many situations where, yeah, I want to lose weight. Yeah, I want to do it fast. You've come to me. Yes, let's do it right away. Like, how much can I lose in this period of time? And if I give you a number, it's how can we do better than that? It's like, oh, yeah, we can do better than that. There's a fallout, I'm sure, for doing better than that, because you're looking at just a finite period of time. But what about the week after? What about the month after? We don't want to worry about that right now. It's just, we want to get rid of it during this period of time. I want to burn as much as I can. Okay, well, we'll do it. We'll give it a shot. Sure. I know it'll work if you stick to it, but the sticking to it part is only going to last for a certain period of time. And then when you don't stick to it, 354 pounds, so you're right back the highest you've ever been. So that's the point. It's like, it's not going that way this time. You're going in a totally different direction. You've decided to embrace something you've never embraced before, and that's gradual weight loss. Instead of the 2 pounds a day, we're doing 2 pounds a week. It's a big difference. It's a totally different attitude. And to get the fast weight loss, you couldn't have fun. You couldn't enjoy anything. I mean, none of this could you possibly enjoy if you're going for a pound a day. You're just, it's not happening. You're going to just hate life. You're going to be miserable the entire time. And ultimately, yeah, you can do that for a period, and then you're going to stop doing it, and then you're going to be fatter than ever before. That trend is going to be broken, and you're breaking it each and every week by doing something that's training you to think differently. It's not just eating differently. The whole thought process is changing. And you're sharing it with us every week. The approach to Thanksgiving, even before Thanksgiving and during Thanksgiving, the approach to every week, when weekends and weekdays and at work and versus at home, all of this is the process that's going through your head. How can I make this work in a way where I can still have a good time, where I can still enjoy life, but I still lose weight? And that's what you're doing. You're accomplishing that every single week because you've applied yourself, and you haven't been unrealistic with what it is that you're aiming to achieve. You just want to lose at least a pound a week, preferably 2, but 1 will do. So that's nice. That's fantastic. If you can lose a pound a week, you're closer to your goal. If you can lose a pound every single week, you're going to get there. For 2 pounds every single week, you get there twice as fast. But what's realistic? Is it realistic to lose a pound a day? Yeah, if you're extreme, but it's not going to last. But can you lose a pound a week, 2 pounds a week? Yes, you've proven it. You've proven it, and that can continue. And I think it's going to continue because you have the right frame of mind. Everything starts here, and you've decided to apply yourself, and I give you all the credit in the world for that.
Well, I appreciate the credit, but it's not me by myself, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, I know.
This mind doesn't just get here. Right? It hadn't gotten here for 49 years, dude. So you really got in here deep, man, and you did some work. So bless you. I appreciate you so much, dude. Appreciate you so much. And I'm every time we talk about this, dude, I'm very excited. I'm very excited because I feel it in my heart, dude. It's happening. It really is. I'm shocked at things that come out of my mouth sometimes because, I mean, like, these are things that, some of the things that I'm saying with just complete conviction sound like something you would say. And it's like, I would never have said these things ever in my life until now. So it's just like, it's wild. I mean, I don't know. It's weird, but I'm better late than never. I'm late to the ball game, but I'm figuring things out.
Well, you've seen the hypnosis where you got the little watch going back and forth,
Is
and
that what this
people.
is?
There's no watch here. There's no watch. Your eyes aren't going back and forth.
You could have
But
done this 30 years ago, bro.
I could have, if I could listen. If I knew, I know you realize if there were a way where I could just tilt something like my finger back and forth and have you go in a trance, and I just tell you all this, and then it's just automatically there. We don't even have to talk about it anymore. The funny thing is, as foolish as that sounds, every time you come up here for an hour a week and we talk about this, you're hypnotizing yourself. You are retraining your brain, because a hypnosis is just getting to the subconscious mind. It's getting past the barrier of the conscious mind, getting into the subconscious mind, trying to change those beliefs and those behaviors that are stored in the subconscious mind, which is that's really the largest part of the mind as far as behavior is concerned. I mean, we're trying to change it quickly with hypnosis, but you're really hypnotizing yourself every time you come up here and talk about it, because that's the reason why it's like an automatic. You notice what ends up happening. It's like as time goes on and you show up here more often, it's like it ends up being a hypnotizing effect, because we're talking about something every single week consistently, and then you have to go and execute for another week, and you're training your subconscious mind to develop a whole new attitude towards weight loss, because you show up every week, we talk about it, and then you execute. Same thing next week. Talk about it, execute. Football, you love football. You go into the coach talks about it, teaches you this, that, and the other. You train for it. You go out, you play, you get back with the coach. And so it's all about the coaching is filling your mind, filling that mind. It's with new attitudes, with new discipline, with new. And so, but then you got to go execute. So you go out and execute, and then you get filled. Then you get, once again, you reconvene, talk about it some more, and go out and execute. That's what you're doing. And by doing that over and over and over again, you're training that subconscious mind to develop new habits that, and that's the reason why it's becoming more automatic. It's because it's reaching the subconscious mind. It's not just the conscious thought, like I should be doing this, that, or the other. It's the subconscious is what pushes you in whatever direction you're programmed to go. You've been programmed over the years to do things that have got you to 354. Now you're starting to be programmed to do things that are going to get you to 254 and 245 and 240. That's going to be the new you. And it's the only reason why it's happening is because you're doing this over and over again, often enough now, after 2 months, often enough to be able to start reprogramming your mind to think differently. It's becoming not only a whole new habit, it's a whole new attitude. And it seems like it's happening. Seems like it's happening when you say that you'll go into a certain situation, you'll like say things that you hear come out of my mouth. It's literally because you're showing up here every week and we talk about it, and you're agreeing with what I'm saying, and you're taking it in, and it's reprogramming your mind to start thinking the same way that I'm talking. And I know it's scary. It's frightening to think that after all these years that I am actually able to have an impact on your behavior based on our conversations.
Wow.
Whereas before it was always me just trying to beg you to try something a little bit different, a little bit less extreme, and you trying to beg me to just shut my mouth and show you how to lose weight as fast as you possibly can. And so it was just constantly me versus you going in different directions. Now we're on the same page, and it's because you've decided nothing else has worked. It's time to get this done. And you show up here and we talk about it, and you're seeing how reasonable it is when you try and execute a game plan that's moderate and offers consistent weight loss, that's moderate, and that still allows you to have fun. And this is a technique you never wanted to consider because of the speed of weight loss. It was going to be slower than if you did something extreme. But ultimately, now you're seeing the reality that if you don't go extreme and you decide that you go gradual, consistent but gradual, you're still able to have a good time. You're still able to enjoy life. You're still able to make this a part of your existence. And it becomes realistic. It becomes something you can see following for the rest of your life. And that's something you've never ever had that realization until now. And I think that's probably going to be the biggest component that's going to propel you to success, is the fact that you're seeing this as realistic for the first time in your entire life. Like, I can actually keep doing this. This isn't something that's short lived. I can do that. If I can do this and I'm achieving results with this, the combination of burning fat while at the same time seeing myself consistently following this routine, because it's something that I have no problem during the weight loss process pursuing, and still enjoying, certainly quite a bit. I mean, the majority of your life is really hasn't changed much, other than you've just altered some of the choices that you're making with the foods that you're eating throughout the week. It starts becoming something that you can hang on to for the rest of your life. And that was the goal all along, was to get something that you're going to sustain, so that way once the fat is gone, it never comes back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels more like I'm just living my life, dude, like I'm supposed to, instead of I'm on a big weight loss kick. It really does feel like I'm just living like I'm supposed to. So that's why I guess when you say lifestyle change sounds like a big deal, but I'm just probably just doing what, people who are actually in shape are doing. Like, it's really, yeah. So it's working. It's working. It's still getting me where I want to go. It's a slower path than what I was, my, I guess, previous life of not being so mature. I was, looking for fast results, but, I want just legitimate results that actually stick. So this is going to do it, man. It's going to do it. It's just going to take a little time, patience, but it's really worth it. It's really,
if you just keep doing, that's the important part. If you just, and you've been reminding yourself of this, I'm sure, is that if you keep doing this, which is something that you have no problem doing, you're going to get to your weight loss goal. And that's a beautiful feeling. It's you're not doing something that you hate in order to get to your goal.
No.
You're doing something that you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life to get to your weight loss goal.
I mean,
that's the difference.
Yeah, I immediately just keep on going back to this, but the dependence, it was almost like a dependence on fast food. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure other people have that struggle too, and it's gone. It's all the way done.
That's amazing.
I don't have that.
Amazing, man.
I don't have that need anymore. I still use it, but when I use it, like, I'll go in the morning, I'll get sausage and egg biscuits, take off the biscuits, put the meat and the egg together, and just and so I use it, but I use it to accomplish my goals, and so it still has a purpose, but it's not at all what I used to do, which was completely damaging. It's just I don't need it to do what it used to do. I don't have any desire to do the toxic stuff I used to do. It's like, that in itself is awesome. It feels liberating. It really does.
Yeah, this has become part of your life, man. And I don't, when that shift took place, I don't know, within that 2.5 months that we've been doing this, I don't know exactly when that took place, but I do know that you're there. You're at the point where there's been a seismic shift in your attitude, because you went into this not knowing what to expect. But now you've come out of it knowing that I've given you the latitude to make choices every week with the goal of losing weight. And just like any good football coach, man, you know what the goal is. The goal is to score. The goal is, and you score every week, and you're trying to come up with the best game plan to be able to achieve that. And that's exactly what you're doing. And the other variable that you factored in is I want to make this fun. I still want to make this fun. I still want to have a good time. I still want to be able to enjoy myself. I don't want to make this diet difficult. I wanted to make it something that I can look forward to. And you're doing that. You're accomplishing that and you're losing weight. That combination is unbeatable. Like how that's everyone's dream come true. And the reason why people don't achieve that is they either believe the wrong people who are pushing them towards diet plans are unrealistic, or they have unrealistic weight loss expectations where they're trying to prepare for an event and I have to get ready for this in a month, so I'm 30 pounds overweight, so I got to lose my 30 pounds in them. Ultimately, if you're realistic with losing weight every week, which is pretty impressive, like you lose weight every week, you're doing something right, you're doing something good, and you do it in a way where the foods that you choose, it's an enjoyable enough diet that you can look forward to meals, then what more can you ask for? You're eating a diet that you like, and you're losing weight every week. Like that combination is anyone who wants to lose weight, it's their dream come true as long as they can moderate their expectations as far as how quickly the weight is lost. But ultimately, I tell people this: you're going to be, regardless of what you do, the next year is going to go by. Like you could do whatever you want for the next year, but that time's going to go by. And if you don't believe me, just look at last year. Did it go by or not? Like, and whatever it is that you did is now done. So instead of thinking I need to lose this weight in 2 months or a month, why don't we say like what's going to happen over the next year of my life? Like I'm literally that time is ultimately I'm going to look back at this year after the year goes by, and I'm going to wonder where the time went. Well, the time went by, and you did something during that time, but it obviously didn't benefit you if you're still overweight. So why don't you do something that benefits you so that every week you're getting closer to your goal? And then after that year is done, you will have completely transformed yourself. Completely transformed yourself. Think about that. Losing a pound every week is 50. You're going to lose 52 pounds in a year. That's for anyone, that's incredible. And you don't even have to be incredibly disciplined to lose the 2 pounds, because you're doing it and it hasn't been a challenge, hasn't been a struggle, and you've been averaging 2, and that's over 100 pounds lost in a year. That's incredible results. And most, the majority of people that are overweight don't need to lose over 100 pounds. They're probably in the 50 to 60 pound range. So you could lose that in a year. Like you could be lean and you wouldn't have to struggle to get there. So why wouldn't everyone do this? It's because 1, they've been misled, or 2, they just have unrealistic expectations. They can't look at a year and ask themselves where I'm going to be next year. They just look at a month and say like, I want this gone in a month. Otherwise I'm going to do nothing, which makes absolutely no sense. And it's totally counterproductive, but you're doing it the right way. And I'm just so proud of you for embarking on this journey that's going to transform your life, the life of your family. Your kids are going to be so proud of you. I just know full well that they're going to be heavily invested in seeing you reach that finish line, and they're going to celebrate with you, as am I. And I'm just so excited for everything that you've achieved and everything that you're going to achieve going into this next year. And that people would think that with how often we wish each other happy birthday, you think we're bitter enemies, because we just, the days go by, we never say it. It's like, oh yeah, it was his birthday. That's right. Yeah, but I love this guy like a brother. I have for over 30 years. It's better for me to just wish him a happy birthday right here, face to face, and let him know that, my man, we've been together for so long as buddies, and I just couldn't ask for a better friend. I couldn't ask for a better companion to just all the escapades that we've been on, all the things that we've done, all the times that we've shared, the trips we've taken have been just absolutely phenomenal. And the culmination of this all is the journey that we're taking now, because we get to see each other every week. We get to talk about something important. We get to have a good time. We get to help other people. And you think after 30 years, because most friendships, they fizzle after a couple years, or if they last a decade, that's amazing. That's like just way above average. But 30 years, that's very rare. But the fact that after 30 years, we can embark on a journey like this and spend more time together just talking the way that we have, like on a consistent basis, more time together than we ever have because we don't live close by. We live hours apart. But now we're seeing each other every week and we're accomplishing something important. We're inspiring other people all at the same time. And it's a dream come true. I thank you for that. I thank you for who you are. And I just commend your heart, your loving, caring heart that just radiates every single time that we're together. And I couldn't ask for a better friend. And I'm going to be by your side forever, man. And I just thank you for being a part of my life.
Much love, brother. Same right back at you, dude. You're a blessing from God, dude. Straight up. Blessing from God. You know I've told you that many times. But everybody here who's listening needs to know that you are straight up. I can't help but say that you really are truly. And I'm just blessed to know you, much less be this close with you, and to have you. You've had a number of times you've tried to work with me on this, and but to be able to do this and achieve this with you by my side and supporting me fully is even more rewarding there. So thank you for all your encouragement and positivity.
It's my honor, man. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing the number next week. I'm highly excited. This is the anticipation is killing me, and that's all I can say.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Everybody tune in. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good.
I hope so too.
I love you, man.
Love you too.
I love you, man. Do whatever you got to do to make it good.
All right.
Got a few days left.
Take care.
Next week.
All right.
Love you, brother.
Love you. These lights are crucial, man. I hope you're pleased with it, dude.
I'm very pleased. It's looking good. You're looking good.
You're looking great, dude.